79 years have passed since the guns fell silent, marking the end of the most devastating conflict in human history, the Second World War. The numbers are staggering, almost beyond comprehension. Over 70 million lives were lost. It's a figure so vast it's easy to forget that behind each number was a person, a life, a story. A soldier on a distant shore, a civilian in a bombed-out city, a child who never got the chance to grow up. Today we're not just looking back at history, we're taking a moment to remember them. Let's start by trying to grasp the scale. Imagine a major city, like London or New York, completely empty. Now imagine that several times over. That's the human cost of World War II. From the frozen steppes of the Eastern Front to the dense jungles of the Pacific, from the skies over Europe to the depths of the Atlantic, the conflict spanned the entire globe. Millions of soldiers perished in combat, but the tragedy didn't stop at the battlefield. For every soldier lost, countless civilians were caught in the crossfire. Cities were reduced to rubble by relentless bombing campaigns. Families were torn apart, forced to flee their homes as refugees, with no certainty of what lay ahead. Entire communities were systematically annihilated in the Holocaust, a genocide of unimaginable cruelty that claimed the lives of 6 million Jews and millions of other victims, including Roma, Poles, and disabled individuals. These weren't just casualties of war. They were victims of a hateful ideology. Their stories, often silenced, are a crucial part of our collective memory. Beyond the immediate loss of life, the war left deep, invisible scars. An entire generation was traumatized. Soldiers returned home bearing not just physical injuries, but profound psychological wounds we now understand as PTSD. They saw things no one should ever have to see and carried that burden for the rest of their lives. Families were forever changed. Children grew up without fathers, wives became widows, and parents buried their sons and daughters. The fabric of society itself was torn, and the process of healing would take decades. Let's talk about the Eastern Front, a theater of war so brutal it's difficult to fathom. The conflict between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union accounted for the majority of the war's casualties. The sieges of cities like Leningrad and Stalingrad are stories of incredible suffering and resilience. For nearly 900 days, the people of Leningrad endured starvation, extreme cold, and constant shelling. They ate wallpaper, paste, boiled leather, and did whatever it took to survive. Over 1 million civilians died, but the city never surrendered. It's a testament to the endurance of the human spirit in the face of absolute horror. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, the war was fought across vast expanses of ocean and on tiny, fiercely defended islands. From the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor to the island-hopping campaigns, the fighting was savage. Soldiers battled not only a determined enemy but also unforgiving terrain and tropical diseases. The use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki brought the war to a sudden, catastrophic end, ushering in the nuclear age and leaving a legacy of debate and moral questioning that continues to this day. We remember the victims of those blasts, a stark reminder of the destructive power we now possess. The war effort also transformed home fronts around the world. Women stepped into factories and farms, taking on roles previously held by men, proving their strength and capability in unprecedented ways. Rosie the Riveter became a symbol of this powerful shift. Communities came together, rationing food and resources, collecting scrap metal, and buying war bonds. Everyone made sacrifices. It was a total war, demanding something from everyone, and its impact was felt in every household. So, why is it so important to keep these memories alive, especially as the last members of the generation who lived through it are leaving us? Because remembering is an act of honor. We honor the sacrifice of the Allied soldiers who fought to liberate the world from tyranny. We honor the courage of the resistance fighters who risked everything in the shadows. We honor the resilience of the civilians who endured and rebuilt from the ashes. Remembering is also an act of warning. History teaches us what we are capable of, for better and for worse. The ideologies of hate and division that led to the Second World War did not simply disappear in 1945. They can re-emerge at any time. By studying the past, by understanding how such a catastrophe could happen, we arm ourselves with the knowledge to prevent it from happening again. It reminds us to be vigilant against prejudice, to cherish democracy, and to work for peace. The world we live in today was forged in the crucible of that war. Institutions like the United Nations were created from its ashes, with the goal of fostering international cooperation and preventing future conflicts. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was a direct response to the atrocities committed. These are not just historical footnotes, they are the foundations of our modern world, built on the lessons learned at a terrible price. As we walk through our peaceful towns and cities, let's remember that this peace is not a given, it is a legacy. It was bought with the lives and sacrifices of millions. The next time you see a war memorial, take a moment, read the names, think about the young lives cut short, the futures that were never realized. Their memory is not just a lesson in history, it is a call to action for each of us to be better, to be kinder, and to be guardians of the peace they fought so hard to win. Thank you for joining me in this moment of remembrance. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it, so that these memories are never lost. Like and subscribe for more content that delves into our shared past. Let us never forget